Hello, America, and your host, the man who loves life. Thank you. Johnny, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Thank you. Hello, America. I am your host, the man who loves life, the myth, the legend, and if you ever just so happen to run into me on the streets, you can just call me Shane. Tonight we're diving into a topic that's near and dear to my heart. Why it's so damn hard these days to stop and smell the roses. I call it the American pleasure trap. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, this trap is more dangerous than a motorcycle cop in a metropolitan area. I'm sorry, officer, but a $100 ticket for an out tail light. I was just heading to Napa to get it replaced. Ladies and gentlemen, it truly is the modern American predicament. We live at the apex of human convenience, rich in comparison to much of the world, yet impoverished in spirit. Living atop the global order since World War II, along with the collapse of the Soviet Union in the early 90s, we've got it all, right? Food delivered to our doors. So many X-rated videos at our fingertips that we can't even pick one sometimes. Have you ever had that problem, or is it just me? We've got video games that take you to a faraway fantasy land. Gadgets that do everything but tuck us into bed. Even our superhero movies cram all the heroes we've ever loved into one film. If that's not the epitome of excess, I don't know what is. So why do we feel like something's still missing? It's like being the king or queen of your own castle, but realizing that the castle is merely a house of cards. One sneeze away from a kinked neck and a sad pile of first world problems. I call it the American pleasure trap. The American pleasure trap ensnares us when we are young. With the 80s and 90s came a technological boom that ushered in constant connectivity and entertainment. For those of us who grew up in this era, deep roots were planted in our brains to seek high stimulation and novelty. Before the boom, kids entertained themselves with modest activities. Rocking horses, ball on a string, building forts, playing with squirt guns and stuff. And every once in a blue moon, shitting in a paper bag, lighting it on fire on your neighbor's porch. Legend says anyway. These were the high novelty activities. Most required physical participation. Then came the television in the 1950s. By 1960, 65% of American households had a TV, and by 1997, it was 98%. TV provided an early avenue for stationary activities, but the American pleasure trap didn't fully form until the 1980s, with the rise of cable TV, personal computing, video games, and home gaming. By 1991, the World Wide Web was introduced, along with early web browsers, digital messaging, and eventually the cell phone. And here we faced a three-pronged problem growing up in the 80s and 90s. Number one, the birth of the digital age profoundly affected our brains' reward centers. Two, technological advancements served as vessels for relentless advertising and subliminal marketing messages. Three, a rise in two-income households led to a go-go-go lifestyle, fast-processed foods, and TV dinners.
There's Kid Cuisine, an awesome meal that's made just for me.
I'll never forget unwrapping at Christmas the Game Boy Pocket and Sega Saturn in '96, the Nintendo 64 in '98, the Xbox in 2002. These are some of my most fondest childhood memories, which is kind of sad if you think about it. But it wasn't really our fault, as these devices lit up our brains' reward systems like a goddamn Christmas tree. Each gaming session set such a high bar for pleasure at such a low cost that my childhood was stained by withdrawals and an obsession with getting back to the console. And when mom said enough video games for today, the next preferred activities were either watching Nickelodeon's garbage TV or browsing the internet for stupid stuff. Only when truly forced would we go outside, ride bikes, or play with our squirt guns. The analog activities of old became secondary to the digital world. The children of the 80s and 90s were thrust into a more cerebral existence, trapped in the labyrinth of the mind's withdrawal mechanism. Stopping to smell the roses became much harder, as the roses were boring compared to the Italian plumber in Overwatch. Compounding the problem was the American marketing system. These devices, especially the TV and internet, pounded our young minds with relentless advertising and subliminal messages, telling us to be happy. We need to buy more, consume more, and experience more. Every advertisement whispered the seductive promise, buy this product, and you'll finally be whole. Tony the Tiger told us Frosted Flakes weren't just good, they were... The toy commercials showed us the latest action figures and play sets, convincing us that the new G.I. Joe or Polly Pocket Dreamhouse was the key to happiness. Collect them all, they said. And we sure tried. Never could, though. Aww. I mean, listen, I was born in '88, and all the way through 2002, I basically had $50 in my name. There was no way in hell I was collecting them all. I was broke as hell, man. Broke as hell. We were bombarded with images of smiling faces, carefree laughter, and perfectly created lives, all tantalizing us with the idea that possession equals fulfillment. Yet behind the glossy veneer lies another subliminal message. You're not enough as you are. These messages justified the madness. This is the American way. And with many parents working hard to make ends meet, they had no choice but to let the system babysit us. This dynamic also made food preparation for our parents very challenging, leading to addictive processed foods we still can't resist today into adulthood. You add the cell phone into the equation, social media as well, and you have a device that plays off your brain like a slot machine in Vegas. Listen, folks, you're probably better off doing a line of Coke off your phone. At least the Coke isn't going to sell your data to the highest bidder. Now, is it any wonder that when we became adults, we were as bad as Tyrone Biggums?
My name's Tyrone Biggums.
In terms of chasing the next easy high. So what happens if we keep chasing this illusion? The consequences are dire, my friends. Rising levels of anxiety, depression, and a general sense of dissatisfaction with life. So what's the solution? How do we escape the American pleasure trap? First, we realize we're trying to eat an elephant here. Escaping the trap requires a gradual unraveling of these behavioral patterns and mindsets. Here are a few steps, okay, to help. Number one, limit or eliminate one vice at a time, okay? It's unrealistic for most of us to escape to the mountains and go monk mode, okay? So take it one vice at a time. 2, know your limits, everything in moderation. 3, unplug regularly. Take time each day to disconnect from your device. Use lock boxes to lock your phone up for a few hours before bed. Trust me, it's a lot harder to doom scroll when your phone is locked up. 4, embrace analog activities. Use the extra time to do something analog, like reading a book, cooking a meal, or pretending it's 1995 again. 5, engage in meaningful activities. Work towards something larger than fleeting first world pleasures. Having a purpose makes it easier to keep the demons at bay. 6, practice gratitude. Don't be like the spoiled kids on My Super Sweet 16. You remember that show on MTV? Be grateful for what you have and care for the beauty around you. No need to throw a tantrum because your birthday cake didn't come with its own fireworks display. By taking these steps, you'll start to break free from the American pleasure trap and find a deeper, more lasting sense of happiness. So, let's all step back from the endless pursuit of more and focus on what truly matters. And remember, folks, if you liked what you heard tonight, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Together, we can beat the algorithm and maybe, just maybe, find a little more joy in this crazy world. Good night, America. This is the man who loves life, signing off.